fourth day, my legs aren't burning. The neuropathy was gone and it hasn't been back. I was dealing with that for a good 8 years. Depression, brain fog, the low energy, gone.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Clean Life Code podcast, sponsored by Mountaineer brand. Today we have Craig Robinson
Hey, good morning.
as a guest. Morning, Craig.
Morning.
So this podcast is about clean living, and you mentioned that you're not one of the workout guys like our other guests, but it's not all about working out.
Yeah.
So what got you interested in food and nutrition?
Well, just turned 54 in April. My wife and I both have been what you might call carnivore or ketovore or dirty carnivore. And I can explain that a little more later, but we've been that since March of 2024. And what started that, I guess, is I was sitting in my recliner and pretty depressed and in a pretty bad way. I'm probably 6'3", and about right now I'm in the 230s, mid 230s. But at the time I was about 285 to 290 in weight. Anyway, I was just pretty depressed. We were on and still are on insurance through my wife. She's on a board, which is an electric, it's a utility board, which is an elected position. And we get our insurance through that position. And there were a couple times prior through the years because I work for myself. I do commercial roofing.
Yeah.
And so we've most of the time we've been on private insurance, which, as most people know, is very expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Well, as you get older, especially as a male, the least bit overweight or buzzwords like diabetic, neuropathy, hypothyroid, Hashimoto's, blood pressure, those things will send your rates skyrocketing. I knew I was having these conditions. It's not rocket science. When your legs are on fire for close to a decade, burning and hurting and twitching and won't stay still like restless leg, you have diabetic neuropathy. When your mom died of complications in her 60s and her mom in her 50s, diabetes, you don't have to go to the doctor to be diagnosed with these things.
Yeah.
I was avoiding that because I knew if those things were on my health record that our insurance would be through the roof.
Yeah.
Or years earlier, it was going to be more than our mortgage anyway. So I was pretty depressed, having a lot of bad thoughts, sitting there thinking my family would be better off without me. And I knew, though, that if it was just about weight loss, like most any man, I could lose weight.
Yeah.
I could lose weight, but it wasn't sustainable. The last time I had tried, my wife and I both did the P90X program, which I'm sure most of your listeners are familiar with.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Beachbody.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I believe I was 39 years old when we did that. We did the whole 90 days. I missed 6 days on that, but there were a lot of days I'd work out twice. A few weeks into that, Tony Horton's not moving fast enough. You're like, let's go, Tony. I don't need a water break. Let's go, Tony. Let's go. So a lot of the people who use that go off into the insanity program, which is more intense. We did that very successfully. I say successfully because we lost weight. We're very fit. I went from never being able to do a pull up or chin up in my life to I was doing 14 or 15, and I was just feeling great. I mentioned I do commercial roofing. They have these roof hatch ladders that are straight up. I could just grab hold of those things and pull myself up to the top and was just doing great.
Yeah.
But there was something that was going on, something I didn't know, but I was hungry all the time. That's what makes it not sustainable. These diets that come with these programs, most people are hungry, whether it's Weight Watchers, whether it's South Beach, whether it is any of the popular diets, low fat, whatever. So you stay hungry. Just basic low carb, you can easily stay hungry. And the key there that I did not know at the time is high fat.
Yeah.
So if you throw in the high fat instead of low fat, now you're not hungry. Your body is satiated.
Yep.
So the trick there is with carnivore or keto is that you're training your body to burn fat, not carbs. And so many of these people in the workout segment or running, they think there was a book years ago called, I think, Carb Loading or something, but it was by a runner. He has since come back and retracted that. He says that I was totally wrong, and he's in the keto carnivore sector. And as I believe he's written more books about that. There is no such thing as an essential carbohydrate. We can go for the rest of our life without a single carbohydrate. A lot of
Yeah.
people don't understand that and thrive.
Hmm.
Our body creates enough glucose to run on, which is approximately 1 teaspoon in our body on average that our body runs on. Well, once we realize that we should be about 30 grams or less of carbs per day at best, most people on the standard American diet are in the 300 to 400 per day.
Yeah.
And that's
Easily.
spread throughout the day.
Yeah.
And if you look at a graph, they're going up and up and up, and the body never has time to process what they're eating.
Yeah.
Their blood sugar is way up. And some of these guys that you've had on, I mean, I'm sure they can run circles around me physically. They can probably bench press me. But when they get to be my age and they're sitting in that recliner and they don't have the energy to work out anymore, I'm
Yeah.
not saying all of them.
Yeah.
They should know that you cannot out exercise or out train any diet. It's not possible.
No.
So when they get to be in their early 50s and they are realizing that they're not seeing the results that they were seeing, a lot of people, the first thing they think, most people is, well, I'm aging. It's expected. It's the norm. Totally incorrect.
Yeah.
When you go get to your doctor and you get these standard labs that they want to run, which may be 5 or 6, maybe 10 different labs, it's nowhere near what they should be running. There's
Mm.
a long list of a whole, like 2 to 3 times as more that can tell you a lot more. Let me give you, for instance, they'll tell you, oh, your blood sugar is normal when you're 50 or 60 years old. But if you had that same range when you're 20 years old, they'll wheel you back to the hospital and they'll say, we got to get you on this, and this insulin or
Yeah.
whatever. You're diabetic. But if you're 50 years old, that same blood sugar, they'll tell you that's normal. You're aging. When in
Yeah.
reality, your capillaries, your blood vessels are on fire with the carbohydrates. You're eating the lining of your vessels up.
Right.
Too long, your legs are tingling and burning, and you're trying to figure out what's wrong. What has caused this? Well, it's decades of fueling yourself with carbohydrates that has caused your legs to start turning brown. You start losing hair on your extremities. You don't
Yeah.
have hair on the knuckles of your toes anymore like you used to. You don't have hair from the knees down. It's your body conserving. So you're not getting the blood to those areas like you used to, or the oxygen.
Yeah.
You start seeing skin tags or brown under your arm or on the back of your neck, or brown spots, which we call age spots. In reality, that's insulin resistance.
Mm.
Insulin is a growth hormone that doesn't have anywhere to put that sugar anymore, that glucose. So it's going in and packing it around these little places and causing skin tags.
Yeah.
People will see those skin tags, especially men, around under their arms or the back of their neck. The only thing that is 100% is insulin resistance. So
Yeah.
that's
I didn't know that.
that's a sure sign that you're a diabetic, but you need to get your glucose checked and or fasting insulin checked. Especially doctors won't check that or even know how to check it. That's the true indicator.
Yeah, that makes sense. I had one and I still have it under my left arm, I think. It's not real big, but that was back. So I weigh about 170 pounds now. At
Uh-huh.
the time, I was about 270, and that's when that showed up. So, and I know I, I
That's
was
right. That's
borderline, but yeah. So I've been
that's the
through the
body.
diet thing and all that too. Yeah.
If you
Okay.
could cut the carbs, and it's not just about cutting the carbs, your body has to run on something, and it prefers fat. Children, we're born into this world in ketosis, and we're
Yeah.
running on fat. But modern diet tells you give that baby formula.
Hmm.
They'll take them out of ketosis when they need to be on their mother's milk. They need to be in ketosis as long as possible. And we also need to be in ketosis, and your body can thrive without those carbohydrates. So in saying that, what your original question was, what brought me into this? Well, when I was sitting in that recliner I was some of the conditions off the top of my head. I know there's more. There was a lot more, but the basic ones were the neuropathy that I mentioned, being overweight. I know that I was at the very least pre-diabetic, if not full-blown type 2 diabetic.
Yeah.
Probably had fatty liver, brain fog. Basically, brain fog is something you really don't know that you have until
Yeah.
you don't have it. You can't
How
see
would
the
you
fog
know?
when it's
Yeah.
out, but you can see the fog.
Yeah.
All right. Aches and pains, snoring, sleep apnea. I have three boys. They're all, my youngest one now is turning 19 this month, but I put all three of them through scouts. So we've been on a lot of campouts.
Yeah.
I bring that up because there's been a lot of campers around me over the years across big fields, and they could hear me across a 60-acre field snoring all night. And
Mm.
I've told many times, man, you stop breathing, basically all the symptoms of sleep apnea. Well, on March 6th of 2024, a buddy of mine in Colorado posted on Facebook about how he's done really well on carnivore. And I'd heard about it a couple times before, and I love meat, so it really was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So I got up and I went in the kitchen and told my wife I'm starting carnivore. So on March 9th, this is no exaggeration. This is the reason I'm doing these interviews. This is the reason I'm trying to tell my story, because it
Yeah.
wasn't just a standard diet. I don't know of anybody on Weight Watchers begging to tell their story, running to tell people. I don't
No.
know anybody on any of the other diet plans that are out there trying to tell their story like it is with carnivore and the keto diet,
Mhm.
or lifestyle, rather, I should say. So on March 9th, I got out of bed, and instead of sitting there gathering myself for about 15 to 20 seconds and trying to stand up straight, walking to my bathroom, hunched over, trying to get through the aches and pains because I'd bulged the disc years earlier. Instead of that, I jumped out of bed, almost ran to the bathroom. I came back. My wife said, "What's gotten into you?" I said, "I don't know. I don't hurt. I'm fine." I said, "I wonder if that carnivore has anything to do with it." She's like, "Nah, surely not." But I had not felt that way in the morning in years.
Yeah.
She said, "Well, I noticed too you didn't snore last night." So I was like,
Mm.
"Really?" She said, "Yeah, you didn't snore." I said, "Well, I'm not groggy. Normally, when I wake up, I'm groggy for a while. I want to go back to bed, even though I've had anywhere from 6 to 8 hours, excuse me, to sleep." Well, the next day, the fourth day, she said, "You didn't snore again." And I said, "Well, something else too. My legs did. I didn't cramp last night.
Yeah.
My legs aren't burning. The neuropathy, Eric, was gone.
Yeah.
Then my
Man.
legs was gone, and it hasn't been back. I was dealing with that for a good 8 years. It started about a year or two, I guess, after I did the P90X program. When I
Yeah.
stopped doing that program, that's when of course, started putting weight back on, and depression and various things set back in. So anyway, the snoring and aches and pains, day 3 gone,
Mm.
or neuropathy, depression, brain fog, the low energy, gone. I've been doing this now. I was going to do it for about 30 days, 60 days. I've been doing this now for a little over 2 years, my wife and I.
Good.
Now, are we 100%? No, but don't let perfection be the enemy of success,
Yeah. That can
right?
get you down quick
That's right.
if you let it.
So anyway, people will say, "Well, you'd lose that weight. A lot of those things will go away." Well, I didn't lose any weight day 3. I'm sorry.
No. No.
Those things are gone because I not only took away the bad things we were putting in, the highly processed foods, but we also put in nutrient rich foods, right? So it's been a game changer.
Yeah.
And we've done this weight loss and this healing. I've lost a little over 50 pounds. Now I've plateaued. I'm in the 230s.
Yeah.
My wife has lost 30 something pounds, and I don't know what her weight is. I know enough not to ask.
Yeah.
We know that she's lost weight, she's down several sizes, and she's been very supportive. And I've had to be supportive of her. It's gone back and forth. It's worked out great. She's healed a lot of things. It really has been great. And we've done all of this with virtually no exercise. We've
Yeah.
walked a little bit here and there. She had to have was told that she's almost a year younger than me, so she's still 53, and she was told that she was going to have knee replacement surgery in both knees.
Mm.
They said that you need to hold out as long as you can because those knee replacements last about a decade, and at your age you'll have to have it 2 or 3 times possibly.
Yeah.
So she had all these pillows she puts between her knees at night. She was waking up in the middle of the night hurting. She was on 2 or 3 different medications. I don't know what they were. 1 or 2 were prescribed, a lot of ibuprofen because of her knees. Now she's not going to have knee replacement surgery. The only two
Yeah.
things that she's done is she started, I think the guy's name is Ben Patrick, the knees over toes guy is what they call him. So she started that just before we started carnivore. And the knees over toes guy, he is a non-conventional workout program to rebuild your knees.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of walking backwards and pulling sleds, that sort of stuff. Now,
Yeah.
she did not do that religiously. She was doing it 2 or 3 times a week, I guess, for a few minutes. And she would walk, our driveway is almost 400 feet long. She would walk down the driveway backwards and get our mail and walk back up.
Mm-hmm.
The neighbors thought she was crazy.
Yeah, oh, I'm sure.
But that worked tremendously. And then when we went carnivore, that pushed it over the edge.
Yeah.
Is basically people think they say that you can't regenerate that tissue and that connective tissue. If you're eating the collagen and if you eat a ribeye and you eat all the fat and you eat all that, you eat as much of it as you can, you're putting those nutrients in there that your body needs to regenerate that tissue.
Yeah.
And if you're exercising in those ways that work, not so much what people prescribe for you, but what works, you're going to rebuild those things. You're going to do a lot better. Now, I'm not saying it's 100%. She's got an issue with her neck that's been bothering her, and that's still bothering her.
Mm.
It has eased up since carnivore. For the most part, we've healed most of everything that we had going on with us with a couple in our 50s that people
Mm-hmm.
just chalk up to old age. I also had a spot on my left arm here that I had probably since I was about 18, 19 years old that I was afraid was skin cancer.
Mm.
But I left it alone because it didn't really get any worse. Well, I started commercial roofing in 2012 and it started getting bigger. And at first I couldn't feel it and run my finger across it, I couldn't feel it. Then it kind of started mushrooming up and it started developing a little edge to it. It was kind of whatever, it's getting kind of gross.
Yeah.
So I would wear long sleeves, and when I was on the roof and everything, I didn't wear sunscreen, but I would just try and cover up with these real thin, like angling shirts, kind of like what I got on today, real
Yeah.
lightweight, and I would cover up, wear long sleeves. Well, it got worse, and I thought about that's another one that I was worried about back in March of 24. I was worried, if I get that checked out, that skin cancer, my insurance is definitely going to go through the roof, if that's on my record. Well, after about 5 or 6 months, guess what? It's completely gone. I
Yeah.
had it for well over probably 25 years, gone. And so I know that was insulin resistance.
Yeah.
So, anyway, back to your original question. When you kind of feel like you've got a handle, and I say got a handle, I don't mean I'm 100%. I'm not
Right.
saying I have all the answers, but I do know in a few short days, adding in nutrient rich, natural, whole food and removing the fake junk, the processed food, we healed. There's not a single doctor that's even offered anything other than medication to mask symptoms.
Yeah.
So I
That's
know I'm on the right path, right? So in saying that, that has got me towards, okay, what else can I do? What am I putting on my body? I get that Old Spice. I can't remember one's Ocean Breeze or something. The other one is a blue.
with
It's
aluminum in
yeah,
it.
and
Yeah.
another is green. And I get those out. And the reason I'm those is because I guess as the makeup of your body has changed over the years, some of them start working. You start smelling yourself.
Yeah.
I tell people I smell like a Vidalia onion. So, and then price, I look at that and I'm like, man, I don't want to spend
Yeah.
$7 on a stick. And
Yeah.
kids get this designer stuff, which it's not an all natural product like yours. My boys I mentioned, and they're like, well, this doesn't work, that doesn't work, and of course we're the ones buying it for them, so that doesn't bother them. But
Yeah.
anyway, I thought, well, man, now the prices now have matched. What else can I do? And now I saw your stuff come across, and I'm like, heck, I'd rather get something made by this guy
Yeah.
who's benefiting from it. You mentioned you don't want to get political, and you can call us political or not. I'll throw one
Yeah.
word out there: woke. Unilever
Yeah.
showed their colors a few years ago,
Yeah.
and I've been looking, and now Unilever is one of the big five or one of the big eight.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'd rather give my money to you than I would to Unilever
Yeah.
or anybody or anything at Unilever. And I know people in my town that work at a Unilever plant about 30 miles west of here.
Yeah.
They make the Klondike bars and
Yeah.
popsicles and things like that at that plant. But they've got their fingers in the food industry, in the shampoo industry, in the deodorant
Everything.
industry.
Yeah.
They make Vaseline. So I'm not in for what from what they said about me as an individual 4 or 5 years ago. I don't want anything to do with Unilever.
Yeah.
So when I can come across a company that is making a good product and they're benefiting from it, I want to try it.
Yeah. We
So
appreciate that. Yeah. That's so we've got a Procter and Gamble place right around the corner here too, and a lot of these smaller brands like ours have been bought up by the bigger. I mean, they're
right,
usually bigger than us,
yeah,
but
yeah,
I mean, there's days we're making 1,000 sticks of deodorant in a day. So
uh,
yeah, we're making a lot. And so we started out doing beard care, and that's why my beard is the way it is. And I
gotcha.
started doing it in my kitchen, but it turned into, especially when the beard market is just so saturated, there's a lot of people making a lot of good stuff out there, and it's all good.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I don't blame people for they want to try all of it, but so that's why we kind of got into the body care
yeah,
stuff, and it's worked out for
yeah.
us so far.
Yeah, you definitely can't hang all your or gather all your eggs from the one
Mm.
basket.
No.
So before I started roofing, I was in, I guess, marketing. I was in magazine publishing. That's one of the ways my bad lifestyle way of eating hurt me so much because I was in a sedentary lifestyle, sitting at a desktop for over 20 years as a graphic designer.
Mm.
But I've seen your marketing. I've looked at your Facebook page and listened some of your in the podcast and things. I would definitely encourage you to stay, whatever you got to do to grow the company, but stay the face of the product, to stay the face of it, because guys like me that you're marketing to want to see you. They want
Yeah.
to know that when they reach and pick that stick of deodorant up or whatever it is, it's like it's not to sound cheesy, but it's almost like they can just have a conversation with you, the guy that's
Yeah.
making stuff and the guy that's benefiting from the stuff. And the name is good, the packaging is good, your image along with it is great. I just want to encourage you. I think you're doing a great thing, and the
Thank
growth
you.
in your company may not be where you want it to be as quick as you want it to be. I don't know, but it reeled me in.
Yeah.
So, I think you're on the right path for sure.
Yeah, I started in 2012 doing this, and
Same year I started.
in 2018 we were in almost 4,000 Walmart stores with some of
Oh,
our beard products, but that's just a whole different. I could do a whole podcast on why you shouldn't put your products in Walmart, but
yeah.
so
Well,
I've learned a lot of lessons from that. But
as we got certified to be contractors with Walmart, and you got to jump through a lot of hoops. And
yeah,
we ended up never doing a single thing. We walked a lot of stores. We walked a lot of big box stores. Your big building material stores and electronic stores, any of them you can think of. We walked them, and they didn't get to where they are by paying you the price you're looking for.
right,
They got to where
right.
you are by breaking you down to such pennies on the dollar and dangling dreams of grandeur in front
Oh
of you.
yeah,
And then when you get your product or service down to that price bracket, now they want the Cadillac service or product that you originally quoted.
hmm
So it just doesn't work out like people think. And then they kind
No.
of wonder why you don't see, when I was back in the 80s, you used to walk in and see flags hanging from the ceiling that said proudly made in the USA.
Yeah.
Products were. There's a reason why the stuff is shipped over from other countries these days.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Um,
right.
so, but anyway, something else I wanted to mention when I say carnivore or keto, so many people say, "Well, what about my cholesterol? I don't want to be dead in 5 or 10 years because of a heart attack."
Yeah.
I'd like to mention some names for people to go and check out. And I don't know, I'd sent you an email originally. One, I was asking some more questions because you have in a little bio on your Facebook page or your website about why you got into this
Yeah.
and talking about your first wife and how she passed with cancer.
Right.
Um, my late father-in-law passed away in his mid 70s in 2015 with colon cancer.
Hmm.
And knowing what my wife and I know now, and I don't want this to come across the wrong way, but my wife and I feel very strongly if we knew what nutrition can do for a person, the real emphasis on the words real healing
Mm.
that everyone
Yeah.
can experience, no matter their condition, everyone can experience. Now, it's going to be to varying degrees because we're not all the same. We feel strongly that he would still be here today.
I agree with that. I think a lot of it
Yeah,
is up here too. But
that's
yes, I
right.
agree 100% with that.
That's one of the elements. One of the reasons a person can have it up here is if they know they feel strongly they've got all or at least most of the bases covered.
Yeah.
You don't know what to do, it brings a cloud of negativity over you,
Yeah.
of skepticism, of this dreariness. You just want to take that diagnosis and stay indoors and say, well, I've lived a good life. I'm just going to reside myself to this.
Yeah.
If you feel like you've got your bases covered and you feel like you can isolate it and see what the problem is, whether it is cancer or whether it's diabetes or Parkinson's or Crohn's, whatever it is, if you feel like you can isolate it and find the root cause,
Mm.
you're going to be a lot better off.
Yeah.
So, in saying that,
Right.
I got some people, if you don't mind, I'd like to mention that people should research, if they're doubting the carnivore cholesterol issue, research Gary and Belinda Fetke. I believe they're either in New Zealand or Australia. You'll
Okay.
find out about nutrition and those big companies we mentioned. This is not conspiracy. This is there.
Oh yeah.
This is there. Nina Teicholz, she wrote a book called The Big Fat Lie or something anyway. And then research a man that I think you'll really love to hear from is Dr. Ken Berry,
Yeah.
Dr. Sean Baker. A lot of people know him as he was on Joe Rogan a few years ago.
Yeah.
Also, another one, if they want to go more the whole foods route and not just carnivore, Mark Hyman is a great one.
Okay.
At
I'm gonna write
the
that one down.
Yeah, Dr. Mark Hyman. At the end of the day, people need to realize that what the Maha movement is doing is a great thing. The food pyramid has been completely wrong.
Yeah.
You and I were in grade school.
Yeah.
We have been lied to,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying it's a big conspiracy. A lot of people, corporations jumping on board to make money. They're just growing their business. I understand that.
Yeah.
But when you find out that something happened back in the 80s and 90s when they got rid of the cigarette companies, Philip Morris and all of them.
Uh-huh.
Guess where those scientists went to that were making cigarettes and tobacco addictive?
Mm.
They went to the big main food
Yeah.
companies. What else started happening? Remember Jay Leno coming on saying, crunch all you want, we'll make more?
Yeah.
Commercials, the
Yeah.
Doritos.
Oh yeah.
It started going from quality to quantity. We need
Yeah.
addiction in here. So that's why our ingredient labels, when you pick them up and look at them in the United States, are 2 to 3 times longer than the same product in other countries.
Yeah, I'm sure
That's
that's yeah,
about addiction. It's not about quality.
right.
Addiction. So when you understand that and figure it out, and you cut some of those basic things out and go with the whole food and get these products that you're putting on your body, get those out of the way, you'd be surprised at the amount of healing. And these young men that have been on your previous podcast with their working out, they would be surprised at the way they can grow their bodies at that point
Yeah.
and the real healing. And then when they're 45 and 50 years old, they can work out longer than they thought they'd be able to.
Yeah, I'm 50. I'll be 57 in August,
Wow.
and I've
Awesome.
done a few things in the last 5 years since COVID, and I
Yeah.
feel better than I did in high school. I feel better than I have in my life. So
Yeah.
now it's not exactly what you do, but it's
Mhm.
the diet, eating whole foods is one part of it, and then just the routine and the way I live my life. But it definitely makes a big difference.
Yeah. Light is another one.
Yeah.
Think about doing, somebody wanted to do genealogy or anything they're researching in, they're excited about. There's a lot of different rabbit holes in most anything you can go down.
Yeah.
But light is another huge one. Just getting up in the morning and getting sunlight on you, getting sunlight on your face, get out from under a roof and get real vitamin D.
Yeah.
The things that high dosing vitamin D can do for you as well is a big one.
Yeah.
Uh, if you can't get the sunlight, look into high dosing vitamin D and water as well.
Yeah.
I mentioned I was a commercial roofer. I've chugged so much water, and I've come home still only to lay in bed at night and have a lot of leg cramps through the year.
Hmm.
Well, I've come to realize that too much water will do nothing but dehydrate you. And people think, what? What are you talking about? All those things, if it's not water with minerals in it, you need to not drink it.
Mm.
Something I failed to mention earlier, intense working out. A lot of people, everyone needs to understand, they need to look up leaky gut and intense exercise. Leaky gut can and will very often lead to an autoimmune disease. And I developed hypothyroid, which I found out years later after going to a functional medicine doctor. Regular doctors didn't care, didn't ask. All they did was want to prescribe levothyroxine.
Yeah.
But look at the exercise routine you're doing. If it is intense, okay, if you feel great, whatever, look at the intensity level of it and research leaky gut, because your gut, so just like if you put something on your skin, your body absorbs it. Your body is one big donut.
Hmm.
You can go through your mouth and out the other end and keep doing that.
Yeah.
Well, your gut brings those nutrients in faster or more so than what you put on your skin. Where I was touching on vitamin D and sunlight and the importance of that. Something that I've figured out since when I started going down the nutrition rabbit hole, which was in March of 2024, you start to kind of get into other areas. And I'm sure you know kind of what drove you towards starting your company and having a clean deodorant line of products. I started looking at sunlight and vitamin D because some of the same people, these researchers and doctors, cross over into these different areas. My wife has been doing large dosing of vitamin D, and it's helped her. And she can really tell when she is off and when she's, if she runs out or she wants to kind of stop, and she'll get lab work to check her levels.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the numbers. I want to say if it's between like 50 and 100 or something is where they want you. I may be wrong on that scale, but she's on the high end now. The way they check vitamin D is what they call IU, international units, I believe is what it is. So for maintenance, they'll tell you like 4,000 IUs of vitamin D. She's been like a high dose for most doctors might be like 8 to 12,000. That would be like a high dose to bring you back into your maintenance level to get your dose back where it is. But there are several books have been written, a lot of researchers out there that will tell you that there's never been a case of high dose or toxicity vitamin D. And
Yeah.
then there's some that will tell you that you have to take it, I think, with a vitamin B and maybe calcium or something, one other thing. So people definitely have to, do their research and back me up on the exact other supplements you might take with it if you did at all. Anyway, she started out like on 10,000 IUs and then went up to 15 for like 30 days or 60 days and currently is at 25,000 IU.
Hmm.
And there are people that are taking upwards of 50,000 IUs of vitamin D per day.
So what kind of
And
form
they're
is it
seeing a
she's
lot of
taking?
great results. I'm sorry.
What kind of form is it? Like what kind is that? Is it a like a
Uh,
pill or?
I couldn't tell you. We've kind of gone in and out with different supplement companies. She does her research, and for pricing and for the active. You don't want to get something. Some of these supplements, like such as a moringa or something, would need to be in its. Obviously, you want to always want the purest form, and you want the freshest. You want something
Yeah.
that's been sitting on a shelf and that sort of. So there's several things that she looks at before she purchases it, and I couldn't tell you the last. I can tell you the color of the bottle is a dark blue.
But it's like a pill, right?
Yeah, it's a capsule
Yeah.
form, and they're generally all in a clear cellulose capsule, most
Yeah.
all the supplements. She mainly started taking it for her neck because even though we've both gone carnivore, and her knees, when we started carnivore, she was bone on bone and was told she would need knee replacement, double knee
Mhm.
replacement. Well, she was about 48, 49 at the time, and they said, you get about 10 years per knee replacement. And at your age, you need to go as long as you can to
Yeah.
keep from having two or three you know, before you pass away. So she started to doing the carnivore, which helped tremendously on both her knees. And then she also was doing a exercise by Ben Patrick, the knees over toes guy is what he's known as.
Yeah.
So she was walking backwards down our driveway, pulling things backwards and doing some different things. And so between those two things, it really helped her. But her neck, she had had a couple bulged discs in her neck off and on throughout the last 20 years or so. So it's
Mhm.
really started bothering her since we had grandkids. So we got one that's almost three, and the other one just turned two, and we just had a third one. And she keeps one of those 2 days a week. So as the child grows and she's picking it up over the last couple of years, and made her neck flare up. It really started bothering her. Well, she looked into the high dosing vitamin D, and that has really helped her neck. And there's a lot of people that have helped it for things such as that, for a lot of connective tissue injuries and things, and it has basically done away with it. My point in bringing that up and adding it to the nutrition aspect that I wanted to come on and talk about, and then your line of work with things that go, toxins and things, trying to have in all aspects of our life, trying to remove toxins, having a clean deodorant and the beard grooming products, body products, all of those things are effective. I say all of them are effective. A lot of them are effective, and it's up to us to be our own advocate to figure out which one actually works. My fear is, I guess, my greatest concern is when you have these conversations with people, is they kind of look at it like a very long term thing, that something that doesn't really work and it might over many years, but that's not the case. I know for a fact that with nutrition, it took me before I started seeing genuine healing. It took me 3 days to where a lot of things went away. And then on the fourth day, hadn't lost a pound. The vitamin D and sunlight, I wasn't on any supplement, wasn't doing anything like that. And I did not see a functional medicine doctor who helped me with some other things until May of 2024. So I was
Mhm.
already doing this for several weeks
Yeah.
on my own with only nutrition. So all of this matters, more so than any medicine.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I agree with that too. And I think a lot of the doctors is just well, it's a business.
yeah,
That's
that's
all
right.
I'll say. But yeah.
It's not geared toward. I do commercial roofing. We kind of have a saying. Someone calls us out, and let's say they've got I don't know, a 10,000 square foot roof, and they want you to fix leaks. Well, I can get up there and fix your leaks, but repairs only last for a year or two at best. If I fix your leaks, you're not going to call me to put a roof on. If I
Yeah.
don't fix your leaks, you're not going to call me to put a roof on.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, doctors are kind of the same way,
That's a good
If
way of
I,
looking at it. Yeah.
yeah. So if I heal you, I've lost business. And
Yeah.
if you're a 20-year-old type 2 diabetic, you've got a good 40 years that I can get. You can be on these pills and on these supplements or whatever. I don't think there's anybody looking at you like a cash cow. I really don't. There may be some, if you want to get cynical, there may be a few doctors that look at it like that, but I doubt there are. I think they just know what they know, which is to
Yeah.
manage most chronic illness, not
I,
to heal it or to find the root cause.
I wonder sometimes, like, if it's like part of their business model, like we're going to
Right.
give you this and it's going to keep you coming back.
Right.
I mean, just like we do with selling our products,
Mhm.
not to try to be deceiving people or getting them hooked or anything,
Right. Right.
but
Well, when you come out of when you come out, you got your medical school and everything. Let's say you just go into a general practice somewhere. You know that when you get in there, there's a lot behind the scenes. When you're not in the room with the patient for 5 minutes, which is generally what it is, when you come out of there, this data has got to be entered into certain software. Well, that software is tied into your insurance plan and things. And
yeah,
if you didn't tell them certain things they need to hear for your insurance to pay for it, well, I can tell you for a fact, things get put into the insurance, and they know that. Everybody knows that.
yeah,
It gets entered in as a certain thing so it can be paid for.
yeah,
Everything is geared towards making its way through that insurance bottleneck. I've been told numerous times, and I believe it's the exact case, the studies that so many people want to see, the randomized control studies or trials, RCTs, they're generally brought to doctor's offices by the pharmaceutical reps. They'll come in with the spread, whether it's a brunch or whatever, a lunch with all the food. The staff goes in and sits down, and they don't
yeah.
schedule appointments for that day. And they say, I have all the latest studies. Well, oh, this is great. I love it. I've known of people through the years that I love it when such and such it comes because that's when we get all the studies. Well, all the studies are for that pharmaceutical that they're bringing.
Yeah,
So that'd be like, what if you went to a Weight Watchers meeting, and Weight Watchers as a company who is there supposed to be on your side and controlling, not controlling, but recommending to you what to eat for you to specifically for weight, not talking health issues, but
yeah,
specifically to lose weight.
yeah,
But yet Coca-Cola and McKee Foods, which is owner of Little Debbie, they're providing studies that says that king size oatmeal cream pies and half liter Cokes will set you on the right path for weight loss. And they
yeah,
bring a
yeah.
study that shows that. So what would be the difference?
Right. Yeah,
So there's kind of a conflict of interest there in those studies that the doctors
yeah,
are, in my, from what I know, have found, look at.
yeah. Makes
So
sense.
it's kind of a little conflict of interest there.
Yeah,
Since I had not used any of your products until one day last week, and on Friday I did the 3-pack that came in. So I have the Timber,
deodorant. Yeah,
and then the Smoky Bourbon, which is what I'm using today, and then the other you have the third variety that comes with. I've
it would
used
be
all of
white
them.
water. Yeah,
White water, that's right. I
yeah,
guess I like all of them, but the white water would be the least of my favorite, but they're all great.
yeah,
And the other one is the Timber. I don't know. The other two are probably just the same. I have the Smoky. I'm out of town today, and my son's an electrician, and I've been under a dock in a john boat running conduit about 150 feet
Ooh,
and pulling wire through it down to a dock, wiring a dock on Pickwick
huh,
Lake, on the Tennessee River.
yeah,
Yesterday, it got close to 90 degrees, and I had which one is it? The Smoky Bourbon on,
yeah.
and all day yesterday. And then we got back to his house about 5:30, and I gave it the sniff test. And again, all I smelled was Smoky Bourbon.
That's good.
I
Yeah, that's
didn't
what you
smell.
want.
That's right. I didn't smell Stinky Teenager or Vidalia onions
Yeah, good.
or green apple chewing gum.
Good
I
to
smelled.
hear.
I smelled the Smoky Bourbon. It did great. It really did.
And
So.
I might have asked you this already, but have you been using a natural deodorant, or what did you use
No, I had not.
before?
Should I mention a brand on here of another
That's
brand?
okay. Yeah.
Okay, I've been using Old Spice,
Yeah. I think you might
and
have said that
yeah,
before.
and it's in a red
Yeah.
stick, and they have the white sticks with like your product, kind of more I guess the old school. Originally you had the old before they come out with they're not clear, but they'll have a green one and a blue one, and generally
Yeah.
the blue one is like called Ocean Breeze or something like
Yeah.
that, Pacific Wind, or I don't know. And then the green one is like a mountain river or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they're across the board, across the brands. Gillette and others have those a clear blue, a gel stick, I
Yeah,
guess,
that's what it
and a
is.
blue and a green one. Well, that's what I've migrated to over the years because as in my late teens, as you started getting hair in your armpits, I didn't like putting cake in the white one on. The gel went on better,
Yeah,
but you
that's
go
right.
through the gel much faster, and it costs more money.
Yeah.
So every 2 or 3 weeks, or so, you're buying deodorant because you're going through it much faster. But those, I just migrated through the brands that worked. That's what I settled on, and then also the price. So,
Well, yeah, that's what I'm surprised that you didn't have, because most people, and I did too, they go through a detox period because that
mhm,
aluminum is blocking the sweat gland, the sweat
uh-huh,
ducts.
uh-huh,
And when you stop using it, they become unblocked, and you're putting that deodorant on, and you usually smell, even with the deodorant, you're going to smell for a while. But
right.
so that's usually what happens. But I'm glad you didn't have to deal with that, and you just
Well, how
glad
long
it
does that
worked.
generally how long does that generally take to happen, a detox? Any idea?
A
Because
couple of 2 to 3 weeks usually.
okay, well, I may still see that because I got it Friday and we're
Yeah,
Wednesday,
that's right.
so I'm not there yet. So
Might
by
not
a
have
week
unclogged yet.
yeah, maybe a week from
Yeah,
today. But
yeah,
as far as nutrients, as far as what I put in, I've already passed any sort of detox period because it's been over 2 years since I've been
yes,
eating only meat.
yep,
So that may be someone on what we call the SAD diet, which is standard American diet, high carb, that sort of stuff. So their only form of detox, besides just sweating, that may be if they switch off from to an aluminum free product, it may affect me a little differently. It
yeah,
might
that's
not be as
right.
bad, or it may take a little longer.
Yeah, it's so funny, and like I don't think I mentioned this. First of all, I don't have any problem with what anybody does, and
Mhm.
I don't even consider it because it's not me.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I've been following a vegan diet for about four
Mhm.
years now, and I know that's not what you do, and you might think
Right.
I'm crazy or whatever,
No,
but
no.
one thing I've noticed is my wife and I both, when we go somewhere and we're outside, people are getting bitten by mosquitoes, everybody but us.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if if it sounds weird, but if they have a way to detect, like they're maybe not interested in my blood. It's not maybe not enough nutrition for them. I don't know, but
Yeah. Well, I
but
know that in my family, I have my wife and 3 boys, and generally when we're outside, we're kinda all doing the same sort of thing together. So I've got a sister-in-law that's generally with us, and then my sister, and then a couple of daughter-in-laws. So there's 2 of us that mosquitoes migrate toward, and it's been that way my whole life.
yeah,
I never knew I don't know that I'm actually allergic to mosquito bites, but when I am stung by one, I'll get one on my head,
yeah,
and I've gone into, like, interviews or things before to meet a client for the first time, and I'll have a quarter size welt on
yeah.
my head, I can see their eyes looking up at it,
Oh
and it's
yeah, that
a mosquito bite got me, but between my truck and going inside, got me on the head. I know what you mean, but I've not had issues with the mosquitoes that I can remember.
yeah,
Doesn't mean I'm not having them. As far, the rest of the people that didn't carnivore or not, of course, my
yeah.
wife and I were the only ones doing it. They never bothered her anyway. They always
Hmm.
migrated towards me, and I don't know if you look at the products like Thermacell and things that are supposed to solve the mosquito problem. You carry the Thermacell, it's got the little wick that slowly burns,
Yeah.
and you have your vapor supposed to be rising from everybody off the top of their head, and
Oh yeah.
that's supposed to keep them away, like a 3 meter radius away from you. The Thermacell product. Before I bought those several years ago, I saw their videos, and that's kind of what. So I think that has something to do with it, and I think each person kind of puts off their own sort of
Yeah. You're probably right.
pheromone or whatever it
Yep.
is, scents or from expiring. There's some sort of vapor out of your body, and it may be amount of toxins or fewer toxins in people and
It could
mosquitoes.
be.
I don't know,
Because
but
that sounds that sounds more, I mean, I didn't put much thought into it. I just noticed
Yeah.
it. But what you're
Uh-huh.
saying about the amount of toxins, because I do think you're eating really clean and I eat
Uh-huh.
really clean, and neither one of us probably have a lot of toxin buildup.
Right. Yeah.
So whether it's all meat or all vegan, it's still clean and good whole food.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. On the vegan aspect of it, one thing I know there's people that will hear me talk about carnivore and only eating meat because the SAD diet, standard American diet, what people have been told since the late 70s, early 80s was that eggs will kill you, beef will kill you, red
yeah,
meat will kill you, cholesterol bad. One of the things I want them to take away from this is a first step toward anything, whether it is making a career decision, whether it is your spiritual life, you want to, I got to look into this. I want to, let's say I need to hear the
yeah,
gospel, just to go to it, pick a church and go to it or something. Make a first step because being stationary is not going to do anything.
no,
So you got to, whether it's the wrong step or whatever, you might get lucky and it might be the right step for you long term. You might determine, the Lord was guiding you or something. But I wouldn't recommend vegan to anybody. But if they're
yeah,
not doing anything, I would say yes, go vegan.
yeah, that's right.
The point is to first of all go to at the very least a clean whole food and get rid of the Doritos, the M&Ms,
Processed
the
stuff.
little
Yeah,
Debbie's. Get off of
yeah,
those things. Find a good elimination diet that will get rid of all the toxins, and you will see major healing immediately.
yeah,
And
because
and when I say immediately, if you've been battling type 2 diabetes for 20 years, immediate to you might be 2 years,
yeah,
but
right.
that's probably not the case. It's probably going to be, a few days. It may be a few weeks or months, but give whatever it is, a full 90 days. You can do anything for 90 days, right?
Hmm.
Go, if it's vegan, that's fine. But a little bit about vegan, I hear doctors and researchers say is generally on plant-based. This is my sales pitch, I guess, against it
Yeah,
would
that's all right.
be everything is wrapped in cellulose. Now I remember this from
Yeah,
biology in high school. A plant nutrients are wrapped in cellulose. Our body can't break down that cellulose. So let's say you eat what American nutrition dietitians tell you you're going to get all your nutrients from this in a day's time, right? Okay,
yeah,
well, if you eat that, your body actually can't break all of that down. So, and then you end up going to the bathroom a lot more. You're bloated.
yeah,
It's because our gut is not designed to most of we're in the upper gut. We don't have the lower and different chambers to keep breaking it down. A very general, not to be crude, but a general crude way of talking about this is if let's say you go vegan for a week and you're eating nothing but salads and
hmm,
you don't even put a salad dressing on it. So let's get your dressings out of the picture. Let's say
yeah,
you have the salad mix on there. You've got some romaine and some spinach and some iceberg. You've got some shredded carrots, maybe some sliced almonds or something you might want on your salad. No croutons. So let's get your glutens out of there.
right.
So the cleanest salad with about 4 or 5 ingredients on there you can think of, right? Maybe tomatoes or cucumbers. Tomatoes a nightshade. Maybe you want to keep nightshades off of there.
Yeah,
No, so that would include peppers. No peppers. Nightshades, we'll call it. That's an inflammation marker.
hmm,
So whatever you think is the cleanest salad that you want to eat that for a solid 7 days. Start on a Sunday and finish on a Saturday.
yeah,
Keep a journal and write down what it's like going to the restroom. What is it like in the bathroom? Did you have
hmm,
to reach and cut the vent on? Was it a traumatic experience in the bathroom?
yeah.
When you're around your friends, do you have to go outside? Are you passing a lot of gas? Is there a lot of burping? What does your
Yeah,
spouse say about the odor? What is your sweat like? What is your antiperspirant like? Did you need more antiperspirant? What about the
hmm,
amount of plaque that builds up on your teeth in between brushes? All of those things are going to come from carbohydrates. The vegetables have, even though it's a green vegetables,
yeah, right.
have carbohydrates in them as well. Those things build in your body and present to you on the outside as gas, bloating, diarrhea, possible constipation because that diet will need you'll need fiber to go along with that, a
Yeah.
plaque buildup, all those things that I mentioned. Bad breath is another one. Now go to only steak. You're only doing it for a week as comparative, and you're going to write in another column beside it, what was it like going to the bathroom? Was there any plaque buildup on your teeth as compared to last time? Create your little 1 to 10 scale, right? But keep a journal on yourself. And the way I look at it is if you're putting something into your body and your body is trying to decompose that rather than take nutrients out of it and expel just a small amount of it, for your products, for making, if you're buying raw ingredients and bringing them into your manufacturing facility and you're making all of this deodorant and it's going out and you're finding that you have a lot of waste, you're having to rent a second dumpster and you're throwing out a lot of raw ingredients that you couldn't
Yeah.
use,
Right.
okay, then you're going to look at different raw ingredients that you can get more bang for your buck. So you have less waste coming out of the backside of that facility. Your
Mm-hmm.
digestion is the same way.
Yeah.
Whatever you put into your body, you want it to be used. Real quickly, there's a gentleman that can answer what I'm talking about as far as carnivore goes. There was a guy by the name of Kent Carnivore is his name, YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Ones who are interested in what I'm talking about now, go to Kent Carnivore. He had Crohn's disease in his teens and 20s. He ended up having his colon removed, and now he's got the colostomy bag.
Mm.
He did his own little test, and he came by carnivore on his own. He would cut vegetables up into small shapes, and he would consume them without chewing them, and they would come out in his colostomy bag. They come out the exact same shape. So your
Oh,
body's not
yeah.
breaking those down. They're passing right through quickly. Then also he would do meat the same way, and he would be full. He'd be satiated, and there'd be a small amount of liquid that would come out into his bag.
Yeah.
There were no chunks of meat coming out. There
Yeah.
was nothing like that coming out. His body was using the vast majority, 95% of what he
Yeah.
was eating. And of course, that varied depending on the meat, but it was a far cry from the vegetables he was eating.
Mm-hmm.
So just a small, and he's got thousands of videos and interviews like what we're doing with people, and he is the most subject to his interviews and videos and research is, of course, on the digestive system, Crohn's, IBS, things such as that. So to me, it was a no-brainer. My body
Yeah.
is obviously rejecting all of these vegetables, and whereas
Makes
I put
sense.
meat in, everything runs smoothly, so to speak.
Yeah.
but, but anyway,
Yeah. That's interesting.
yeah.
So do you think that people make healthy eating more complicated than it needs to be?
I think so. Everyone should involve their doctor in just about any diet change. But at the same time, I think people need to not be scared when you're looking at natural foods. If it's plant or animal based, it's growing on the earth. We're all
Yeah.
made up of the earth, you know,
Yeah.
carbon, water, light, all of those things. Don't be scared. If I was going to be scared of anything, if it's a person telling me to, here, you need this man-made product. Here, you need this pill. That's what I would worry about.
Yeah.
Some
Right.
sort of a synthetic product with ingredients you can't pronounce on it.
Yeah.
That's what I would worry about. If it's a
Yeah.
doctor giving me a pill saying your health depends on this, you don't have an Ozempic shortage. That's not why someone would be unhealthy. They don't have a Tylenol or ibuprofen or depression med shortage.
Yeah.
They've got
That's
some sort of a nutrition issue.
right.
That's what I would be leery of someone telling me that. If it's a natural product I'm putting on my body or in my body to help me, I would not be worried about it at all.
Yeah.
It's like steering a ship. If you start seeing issues with it, eliminate it.
So if somebody says to you, I don't have the discipline to eat healthy, what do you say to them? I'm sure
I,
you've heard that before.
if
I know I
nobody,
have.
if someone does not have the discipline to eat healthy, you're looking at them. I
Yeah.
believe I am the supremo
Perfect example, huh?
perfect example.
Yeah.
If there was a can't eat healthy product and they needed a face for that product, it'd be me. They put my face on their product.
Yeah.
Because if there's a binge eater, it would be me. And it's not the one that I'm here helping today, the electrician that I'm helping wire this dock on is turned 24 in November. I ate he had one piece of his birthday cake, and by the next day, he'll tell you today what happened to the rest of your birthday cake when you turned 8 years old. It was a Power Ranger birthday cake. I ate the rest of it overnight.
You did?
It was a sheet cake, and I
Yeah.
ate the rest of it overnight.
Ooh,
What people need to understand is that whatever they're doing, it's a journey. So don't get to 12 days in and say, well, I messed up.
yeah,
I'm
right.
starting over. No, because the next day is not day one again. The next day is 13.
Yep, that's
Okay?
right.
If it's
You got
day 87 and you eat a cheeseburger and fries and you feel terrible about it, and then you go home and drink a 6 pack of Cokes or a beer or half a bottle of Jack Daniels, and you're like, oh man, I screwed up. So tomorrow I'm
yeah,
starting, tomorrow's day one. No, tomorrow's day 88. It's a
right,
journey. That's
right.
the way you got to look at it.
Yeah,
And if you're on the right plan anyway, putting nutritious food in you, your body will recover from it far greater than it would had. 100% better than if you're eating the SAD diet, the standard American diet,
yeah,
or putting products on you. So don't go back to spraying Roundup with no gloves or long sleeves on just because you messed up and did something. Just keep going. Just keep at it. And
yeah,
and I would tell somebody to find what from sources that they believe in, online sources, and they can go to pubmed.org and look for their studies.
hmm,
Find doctors and researchers that you believe in, products you believe in that line up with your values, and follow them as best you can and stay in front of them.
yeah,
Keep that literature going into your head. Find a YouTube video or podcast and listen to it while you're driving. Put that on, hit it, turn it on, and go.
yeah,
And keep that information going in. If you don't keep that information going in, you don't keep educating yourself on it, then it's going to be easy to get discouraged. And before you know it, you're Netflix and chill, and with a case of Little Debbie's, and that's what's helped me. And when I came across your product and I saw that you had podcasts, that's one of the things that's really helped me. Just staying in front of it, keep talking about it with
yeah,
whomever at any level they're in.
yeah, that's right. And I can tell you've done a lot of that just by listening to you talk. So
Mhm.
you got a lot of information.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yep. And that, like I said, with you being carnivore and me being, I'm not saying I'm vegan because that's a whole different thing, but I
Mhm.
follow a vegan diet. I don't consider
Gotcha.
myself a vegan.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got some clothes that are leather. We use beeswax right here in the
Yeah.
facility to make
Yeah.
stuff, and that's not vegan.
Yeah.
But so it's just all about, like you said, finding what works for you and what you want to do and sticking
Yes.
with it. Give
Yeah.
yourself some grace if you fall and just keep
That's right.
going.
Get the junk out, realize that it's a journey, and a decade from now, you may be doing something completely different.
Yeah,
But if
that's
you're
right.
tethered to doing something natural and doing it cleanly and nutritiously, then you're only going to sway so far.
Yeah,
You're only
yeah,
going to sway
that's
so far, and it'll vary up and down. And you'll be able, and remember, if we got time, healthlabs.com and ownyourownlabs.com. People
okay.
for a few bucks, they can order their labs online. They will get them emailed to them. They can look at their own labs. You don't have to go to a doctor and to get those labs, and they can see what's happening to them with that vegan or with that carnivore diet.
That's interesting. So how do you get you have to draw blood
You
or
yeah, and LabCorp and Quest are 2 big national ones. You just select which one you wanna use when you go to I use healthlabs.com,
yeah,
whether it's a thyroid panel or LDL cholesterol panel. I did everything that was like $387, so healthlabs.com, so less than 400 bucks, I got every single lab you could possibly order.
does your
Got it
insurance
done.
cover that or
No, it did not. Now,
okay.
if they say that I needed it, then yes, they'll cover it, but generally only a few. It's for whatever that doctor's checking me out for. But I don't go through a doctor. I'm not interested in going to a doctor unless I
Yeah,
have a
right,
broken bone or stitches.
right.
So I want to know how I'm doing since for like every 6 months or 9 weeks, you want a good 9 weeks or something, 90 days. And I want to know how I'm doing. Remember, steering a ship, it's a journey, right? So go to order that lab. If you choose you want to go to LabCorp, then whatever which one it is, when you're ready to go by there, you go in there and you don't even an appointment. You'll go to an iPad, you'll punch your name if you're there, they'll call you back. They'll
Okay.
get your urine test. If the one that you purchase calls for it, they'll draw your blood, then you leave. And
We
then
had
in a
that
few
around
days,
here.
or
Yeah.
yeah, in a few days, you'll get an email that says they're ready. You go on your portal, you log into your portal, and it'll give you all your results. You can print them out and you can compare them to last time.
That's interesting. I'm gonna have to look into
Very,
that.
be your own advocate. Learn these basic things.